Well, first off, we gotta get Nero reloaded. He's a little low on arms right now. Let's see. Well, let's see what he's carrying. So let's just dump all these, and we will put on. We'll start with a tomboy. I like starting with tomboy, and then I'll eventually get hit, and we'll switch to a breaker. Then I'll eventually break that. Then we'll go some punchline, because I like punchline. And then, let's have a couple overtures. And then I like to end with Gerbera, because it's if you're down to your last arm, it's time to get crazy. And now we can spend some red orbs on Nero. We can finally pick up Table Hopper 3. Wire Snatch 3, also good. He could get more orbs, but 40%. Blue Rose is 40% done, but bought everything. He must get more later. Hard way. That's an ability I don't have. There we go. Did I buy all? Yeah. So I have all this. So that's everything. Do I have enough to get more orbs? He does. Might as well buy it. There. Now we're all customized and ready to go. But actually, before we do that, I want to go back to the main menu. We'll just go back real quick. I want to go to the gallery, I believe. Because I like reading. We'll read Nico's reports. No, that's not right. Is that the library? Yeah, here we go. Documents. Here we go. Now we can read Morrison's letters, which we have been getting as we've played. This is the first letter we got in that very first mission. 30 years, don't have a typewriter. His name was Tony Redgrave. And then now we've unlocked a few other letters. So let's take a second to read them. Back when Dante went by Tony Redgrave, there was this place. Bobby's Cellar, a dive infested with bounty hunters, would-be soldiers of fortune, and often enough, our old pal Tony. He'd show up from time to time like any of the other punks and lowlifes looking to make a quick buck. That was the kind of place Bobby's Cellar was. There were plenty of guys like me around too. Every one of us knew how to make the rounds to these joints and peddle our information like precious gem. More importantly, getting those jobs covered kept the cash flowing in. You better believe old Tony made me a pretty penny. Still, that guy was always broke as a bottle of wine. He'd end up busting his guns on every job. Sure, it all makes sense now, but at the time I was just dumbfounded. I asked myself, what kind of shots is this guy packing to break a pair of pistols on every single job? This old gunsmith in the neighborhood was always given an earful. Normal pieces must be like a pair of pop guns to a guy like you, huh, Tony? Eventually he got wise and he'd never make a solid payday at this rate, so he got the old lady to design a pair of pistols just for him. You guessed it, she ended up introducing Dante to his old pals Ebony and Ivory. Wouldn't you know it, she died just as soon as the job was finished. Well, more like she was killed. I never figured out who did it either. I was out of town on a big job myself at the time, you see, but Tony... No, Dante, he knew from the sound of it. One of the toughs from his regular haunt said that after she passed, he went off somewhere with the most crestfallen look he'd ever seen. That's the last anybody would ever see of Tony Redgrave at Bobby's Cellar. Before long, I got wind that old Tony had opened a little racket of his own, Devil May Cry. I managed to track it down and walked in to find a man by the name of Dante. Said that'd been his real name all along. That was the start of a beautiful friendship, let me tell you. I'd never believed in demons and anything like that, but hanging around that guy long enough is a goddamn eye-opener, that's for sure. Met Lady around the same time. Dante always played fast and loose with his money, you see. I'd see her toss a few bones his way sometimes, even a job or two, griping about it the whole time, of course. The way they carried on, you could tell they shared some kind of past. Nothing romantic or some nonsense like that. Nah, it's more like they got what the other had been through. I tried the roundabout route to figure it out, but those two dodged questions the way they dodged bullets. The past isn't something they bring up lightly. One time, Lady let something slip about a cutting ties that bind. She was a pretty heavy bender. Mentioned something about them having killed family. Dante, his brother, and Lady, her father. Can't say for sure if that's the whole story. I suppose I could look into it. It is my line of business after all, but I'm not the kind of scum to judge up a friend's past just to sate my own curiosity. So I chalk it up to the drink. A bunch of booze-induced nonsense as far as I'm concerned. And then we still have one more letter left to unlock. I don't know when. And then we've got profiles, which are basically Nico giving her take on people. Every once in a while you meet a lady so kind people call her a living saint. Well, I can safely say that in all my years on God's green earth, I ain't never met a girl that fit the bill like this here Kyrie. These days you can find her looking after the little ones in an orphanage in Fortuna. After all the awful things that went down on that island, it's safe to say she's just about the only thing holding them poor folks together. And don't get me started on how beautiful she is. She'd be beating the boys back with a stick if it wasn't for Nero. Don't know what a sweet girl like him... Don't know what a sweet girl like him... a sweet girl like that's doing with a punk like him, but hey, ain't none of my business. Different strokes, I reckon. Patty. Dante rescued this girl on one of his odd jobs. She had nowhere to go, so she started showing up at the original Devil May Cry. Heck, she'd even clean up since the man himself couldn't be bothered. Eventually, the little lady found her long-lost mama, and these days they live together under the same roof. Still, I hear she keeps showing up at Dante's to bug him from time to time. Girl ain't afraid to tell Dante exactly what she thinks of his lazy ways, though from what lady tells me, she's got a bright and bubbly way about her, too. Let's see what else we got here. Just turned 18 from the looks of it. Popular school, popular with the fellas. Dang, looks like she turns them all down, though. None of this has anything to do with the task at hand, does it? Right, moving on. Wherever you go in the world, you can hear the legends of the Dark Knight Sparta, a demon swordsman who defeated the king of the underworld, sailing away to protect his lady love. Shoot, good luck finding a kid who hadn't heard the tale in this day and age. Them Fortuna folks, though, they took it a step further, went and based a whole dang religion around the story. I mean, sure, there are records here that are substantiating the existence of Sparta, but only a handful of people know about them. Mama told me stories of Sparta when I was a baby, but she thought it was just something you could tell kids to get them to go to sleep. Daddy was from Fortuna, so he believed the whole shebang, though he never tried to make her drink the punch. Maybe he figured she'd never believe him, or heck, maybe he was so head over heels he didn't give a flip what she believed. They ain't around anymore, so I can't exactly go and ask him. I imagine what Mom would say if I told her I partnered up with a bona fide descendant of Sparta. She'd have me strapped up in a straitjacket for sure. Sorry, Mama, but Sparta ain't just a fairy tale. Nero and Dante, them fellas are living proof. What are these documents? Explaining things. So we've got the Qlipoth. The Qlipoth is said to be the tree of life that resides in the demon world. It is the source of all life and gathers human blood, the source of demonic power. Once every several thousand years, the tree bears fruit made of this condensed blood. Whoever should eat the fruit gains sovereign power to rule over all. Trish told of a demon named Mundus who consumed one of these fruits to become the king of the underworld. The Qlipoth never bore fruit again after Mundus, as Sparta separated the worlds of demon and man. But now the border between worlds is no more and the Qlipoth is sure to bear fruit once again. I dare say the tree has appeared on the surface for this very reason. The laws of the underworld differ from ours. Unlike the trees of our world, the Qlipoth grows from the surface to deep underground. If you wish to reach the point where the fruit grows, you must head straight down. And I doubt you need me to tell you what manner of abominations wait below. So yeah, that's why at the end of that cutscene, they all jumped off cliffs, is because the reason why there are Qlipoth roots everywhere is because the roots grow up, the tree grows down. So all those like little tree towers, those were roots growing up into the sky. If you want to get to the top of this tree, you have to go down. Newspaper articles. A large number of citizens were cut down in the heart of Redgrave City on the evening of the 16th. The exact number of victims is currently unknown and the perpetrator is still at large. The police have cordoned off roads in the vicinity. An investigation is currently underway as the research is... An investigation is currently underway, as is the search for the criminal. Authorities have reported the victims of the Redgrave City massacre now number in the hundreds. The remains of the dead are horribly disfigured, with only pieces of some victim being recovered. Although bodies have yet to be found, a large number of citizens have gone missing since the incident. The police are trying to piece together the events that night for the scant few survivors, and are hurriedly reviewing all of the damage. Police report the corpse of a woman was discovered in the charred remains of a residence that had gone up in flames on the night of the incident. The woman is thought to have been the owner of the residence, but evidence to substantiate this claim is currently lacking. According to testimony from other survivors, a pair of twins also lived with the woman, but the remains have yet to be found. So this is a clipping of the newspaper the day after Dante and Virgil's mother was killed. Old man's diary. I often think of that boy as of late, wise beyond his scant years. He would show up at my home with his nose crammed in some collection of poems. He seemed to favor William Blake most of all, so one day I gave him a Blake anthology as a present. With an expression of delight on his face, he asked to borrow a pen. Strange though I found the request, I gave him the pen on my person. The boy opened the back cover and proceeded to scribble his own name within. I was puzzled to see him write on the book in such a way and asked the lad what had possessed him to do such a thing. Clenching the anthology to his chest, he answered thusly, I have a twin brother, sir. We fight over things often, so I have to write my name on things to make them truly mine. I found myself charmed by his statement, and at once envious of such purity. I felt ashamed. Me, a self-styled bibliophile, had devoted himself solely to preserving the beauty of books. It was clear that this child loved books far more than I ever did. That child is no longer in this town. He disappeared amidst circumstances most unsavory. Perhaps he is no longer in this world. To think that a promising youth like that could lose his life, while a lout like me still drags on. The thought is almost unbearable. I'm already in my twilight years. Perhaps that is why I recall that youth's serene eyes at every opportunity. That pure, untainted youth. Yeah, he didn't turn out too well. So, apparently, yeah, straight up. The reason why V loves poem is because Virgil loves poems. He just loves poetry. He loves William Blake. Apparently, Virgil was a bigger nerd than anyone ever thought. Well, what's this discarded note? This is all the info I've gathered in my investigation of the Redgrave City incident. If the truth is brought to light, this would be bigger than revealing who Jack the Ripper was. Hell, this could rock the world as we know it. Oops. This could rock the world as we know it, but I'm no spring chicken anymore. My body won't move as I tell it to. I'm basically bedridden, waiting for death. No way I can continue my investigation like this. Whoever reads this note, I beg you, finish what I started. You have to find the truth hidden behind that gruesome tragedy. One last thing. A young boy apparently survived the incident. His name was Dante. No last name, no nothing. All I could find in my investigation was the fact that he lived in Redgrave at the time of the incident. When I tried digging into it, he refused to acknowledge anything. On the contrary, he warned me not to poke any further into the evidence in question. Not exactly something you'd say if you had nothing to do with it. In fact, I'd say he might know just what kind of monster could slaughter 136 citizens of that poor town in under an hour. If you're reading this note, know that the boy is one of the few people who knows just what happened that night. You need to go and get him to tell you everything. I have no money, no influence. Hell, I don't even have any friends to speak of. This request is all I have. Well, nobody's gonna do it, and Dante will never talk about it, so you're basically just wasting your time. The Legend of Sparta. The world of demons was once connected to the world of man. The one who ruled the demon world set his sights on conquest of the human world. However, one demon rose up against the Demon King and fought to protect mankind, the Dark Knight Sparta. Wielding a massive sword that shared his name, Sparta laid the Demon King to rest, along with his subordinates. He then sealed the gate connecting both worlds using a sword as the key. While most records offer little to no details about this weapon, many speculate to be the Sword of Sparta. And yet the following was written in a record of devil swords I discovered. The Dark Knight Sparta split his power into 3 parts. One blade bore his own name, the second blade was named to embody retaliation, and the final blade was named to embody a god of death. If this is true, then there are 2 other devil swords out there besides Sparta. So, Rebellion and Yamato. Sparta was sealed by the Dark Knight himself, but no one has found any documents pertaining to the location of the other 2 blades. That's because his sons have them. International Gunsmith Directory. Still, when it comes to crafting beautiful guns, Nell Goldstein is the only one who can be called a master. Nell's weapons are works of art. They are not adorned with unnecessary ornamentation, nor do they sacrifice functionality for form. Rather, Nell's creations are honest, pure pieces with simple and elegant designs. This is the beauty that Nell puts into her craft. Her obsession was 45 caliber weapons, and she crafted all sorts of new designs, earning her the nickname the 45 caliber virtuoso. Unfortunately, Nell Goldstein lost her life in an unfortunate accident a few years ago. She left behind a daughter, although the two were estranged at the time of Nell's passing. More than a few gun enthusiasts, this author included, must be hoping that Nell's daughter inherited her mother's techniques. Now, in the prequel novels, it pretty much explicitly stated that it was a son, not a daughter. So I guess that's not... soft canon rules. Essentially, if the game says it, it's true. If supplementary materials say it, it's true if it doesn't contradict what the game says. So this says it was a daughter, then it was a daughter. Rock Goldstein wasn't Rock Goldstein. Whatever. There's a lot to read. Videos related to the storage. These are all written from the perspective of Trish, or Nico rather. Dante's mom, the woman the Dark Knight Sparta fell for, in other words. Must have been a heck of a gal to snag the legendary Dark Knight himself. I guess her feminine instincts were so strong even giving a demon a hug was no problem for her. Yeah. She just gives her thoughts about the various characters, like Griffin, one of the demons V has at his beck and call. Apparently this chatty bird thing specializes in shock and awe. He hits everything with lightning strikes. Now my demonology text shows some reference to a demon just like this one, but it was defeated by Dante years ago. Just a coincidence, I guess. I sure as heck can't find out anything more about this pecker. Here's Shadow, the Fado Cato itself. Seems to stick to the whole big black cat motif for the most part, but it can shapeshift when it wants to. Again, the old texts collected by the Order of the Sword talk about a beast just like this one, only it never would have played nice with a human. Around V though, this thing is as meek as a buttercup in a breeze. And don't tell me it's just cause V's good with animals. And here's Nightmare. Unlike the other two, it doesn't seem like this thing thinks for itself. Near as I can make out, it's only got 3 purposes. Destruction, destruction, and destruction. Also unlike V, other 2 helpers, I'm not seeing any reference to a demon like this in any of the old Order of the Sword texts. What does that mean? That not even the Order knew this thing existed? Nah. That thing was a special weapon built specifically to kill Dante. Didn't work, but, you know. I just wanted to, go over those, supplementary materials, not the character bios, because, we already know that. But there was, extra information. And I like reading. Reading is, we don't need to watch this again. Skip that, unless you really, really want to watch Dante do a Michael Jackson dance. We will continue to stick with Nero for now. I'm gonna have to go over the other 2 and see if there's any major differences between choosing these 3. I might have to just do a chapter where I just do this mission 3 times. Okay, enough messing around. Let's get started. Let's actually get into the action. Gotta play the video game, man. Gots to play the video game. This is the infamous Mission 13. I've heard of it.
So I'll take the low road. Let's get airborne. Riding high. Let's get airborne.
Ooh, a big fancy caster? He looks a little distressed. Oh, so he's a lightning instead of a frost. Lusath. I'm not even gonna try. Lightning bad guy. Oh. Now this is infamous because it's a co-op mission.
Right. Go down and go up. Sure, that's straightforward. Let's get airborne. Good. You get to go wild.
Every time, every time. That's... Oh, there goes. I knew that it wasn't gonna lose it. Ugh. How am I supposed to fight this thing as Nero? Ugh, there's a lot of guys. Oops, ah! Come here! Boom! How you like powerbomb, buddy? Ow! Boom! Ugh, it's getting crazy in here.
Right now.
As long as I don't have to fight anymore. Oh. There's a nobody in here. Oh, gotta watch it.
Let's get airborne.
Oh, crap. Okay, I like Rawhide better anyway. Well, it's less dangerous to use anyway.
Right now.
There are a lot of dudes in here. I should probably take out the monster generator. That might help.
Let's get airborne.
Oh no. No. The nobody is throwing. Oh ho. Oh ho ho. I should have focused on those.
Right now.
I should have focused on those monster generators right away. This is actually getting quite unpleasant.
Let's see. Let's get airborne. This presence. That devil's gone even deeper.
Oh boy. Well, at least they gave me some health back. Is there anything else in here? Nah. I'm pretty sure you don't get...
Well, you're talking, I'm still fighting.
No, he's doing the hat thing. At this point, this is... Basically, there's a method of... There's a method of farming orbs using the Faust hat that Dante got in the last cutscene, where you go to this mission, you come to this room, and then you just spam its attacks endlessly. I'll just open up these. Basically, the large number of enemies combined with its orb bonus properties lets you get large amounts of extra orbs. Honestly, people should just go offline when they do that. Because, I mean, really.
What'd you say?
No, he's doing the dance. Nah, sorry, buddy. I'm not interested in goofing around. I got places to go.
Looks like we still got a long ways to go.
Uh-oh. Is this where we get separated? Probably. I got an A. Yeah, I wasn't quite ready for the sheer number of enemies. Sure, stylish, whatever you say, man. Yeah, I was not ready for the sheer number of enemies. So I kind of overestimated myself. Plus, it's been a little while since we played as Nero.
Damn. Just a little longer. Come on.
You're not looking too good, V.
I must go before he loses completely.
Diverging Point V. Clifoth, Blood Drinker, Infernal... And now we're back to V. I guess that's the way it's gotta be, huh? I know, he's still got some abilities I need to buy, but didn't get enough orbs in that last one to actually buy anything. So we're just gonna have to keep going. I'm sure he'll pick up something by the halfway point from the mission. The halfway point through the mission. Okay, connecting to network. Which means more...
A little longer. Hold on just a little longer.
Where the bad guys at?
Are you alright, B? You might want to take a break.
He's forcing me to walk. Uh-oh. Not good. Looks like we've fallen for a trap. Oh, his tattoos are gone. His hair's white, which means his summons are gone.
Where am I?